This ice cream says no sugar added on the label. It ranked dead last. And it outsells everything in the diet freezer aisle. Today I ranked 12 ice creams, from the one that's actually fine to eat to the one that's worse than anything you'd expect. The results will change what you reach for next time. Starting off, dark chocolate sorbet. Not ice cream, better than ice cream. Real cocoa, no dairy, no eggs. The base is water, cocoa, and a small amount of sugar. That's it. Dark cocoa brings flavonoids, compounds linked to lower inflammation and better cardiovascular health in several studies. The sugar content is well below standard ice cream, and there's no saturated fat. The downside, it's not creamy. It's dense and rich and intense, which means a small portion actually satisfies. You don't need the whole tub. A real surprise at the top of this list. Next, no sugar added ice cream. One from the diet section, the one people buy thinking they're making the smart choice. Here's what's actually in it. The sugar was removed, so they added sugar alcohols, maltitol, sorbitol, xylitol. These still raise blood sugar, just slower. Not zero impact, slower impact. Then artificial sweeteners on top of that. Acesulfame K, sucralose, compounds the gut doesn't handle well, according to recent research. Then thickeners, stabilizers, and emulsifiers to replace the texture the sugar and fat used to provide. The ingredient list on a standard no sugar added ice cream runs to 30 or 40 items. Regular full-fat ice cream has 6. You traded sugar for a chemical cocktail and paid more for it. Worst choice on this list. Moving on, plain gelato. Less fat than American-style ice cream, more milk, less cream, which means the flavor has to come from the actual ingredient. Real pistachio, real strawberry, real lemon, not flavoring, not extract. The thing itself. The sugar content is similar to regular ice cream, but the portion is naturally smaller because the density is higher. You eat less and get more flavor. The downside? Commercial gelato varies enormously. Real artisan gelato has a short ingredient list. Supermarket gelato often has the same additives as regular ice cream. Check the label. If it reads like a chemistry textbook, put it back. Good. And the next one surprises most people. Next, soft serve. The one from the machine. It looks simple. Vanilla, soft, light. Here's what's actually in it. Soft serve is not ice cream. It's reconstituted milk powder, vegetable oil, corn syrup, and stabilizers, pumped through a machine with air. The air is the product. Up to half the volume is air. You're paying for nothing. The vegetable oil replaces dairy fat, which sounds healthier. It isn't. Refined vegetable oils at these amounts are not an upgrade. The stabilizer system keeps it from melting for 20 to 30 minutes in warm conditions. Real ice cream melts in minutes. If it doesn't melt, that's not food behaving normally. Better to avoid. Moving on. Low-fat diet ice cream. The one with the calorie count on the front. 97 calories per serving. 100 calories. 120 calories. Sounds responsible. Here's the problem. The fat was removed, so the texture and the satisfaction disappeared. So they added more sugar to compensate. Then gums and stabilizers to replace the mouthfeel the fat gave. Then artificial flavors, because without fat, the real flavor can't carry. The result? Less fat, more sugar, more additives, less satisfaction. You eat the portion. You're hungry again in 40 minutes. You eat another portion. The calorie math doesn't work the way the label implies. Better to avoid. Stick with me. The best thing in this whole freezer aisle is still coming. Next, frozen Greek yogurt bar. Plain. No coating, no added flavoring. The protein is real. The live cultures survive partial freezing better than full freezing. So you get some probiotic benefit that disappears completely in frozen yogurt. The sugar content is lower than ice cream. The texture is denser and more satisfying. The catch? Most products in this category are not actually plain. They're coated, flavored, or sweetened to the point where the Greek yogurt inside stops mattering. Look for the plain bar. Short ingredient list. Greek yogurt first. Good. Next, artificial fruit popsicle. The brightly colored one. The one that stains your mouth. Water, sugar, corn syrup, artificial flavoring, artificial coloring. No actual fruit. The fruit on the packaging is not in the product. It's a sugar water bar with a color added to trigger the brain's association with fruit. The sugar hit is fast and high because there's no fat or protein to slow it down. Blood sugar spike, quick crash, want another one. That's the design. Better to avoid. Let's keep going. Coconut milk ice cream, dairy-free. The one people choose for lactose intolerance or preference. The fat here is coconut fat, medium-chain triglycerides, handled differently by the body than dairy fat or vegetable oil. The texture is rich and creamy because coconut fat behaves like dairy fat. The downside? The sugar content is often higher than regular ice cream to make up for the different flavor, and coconut milk ice cream often carries the same stabilizer system as regular ice cream. Check the label before you buy. Plain coconut base, short ingredient list. Acceptable. Closer to good if the label is clean. Next, ice cream bar with chocolate coating. The classic format. Ice cream on a stick, covered in chocolate. The problem is not the ice cream. The problem is the coating. Commercial coatings on ice cream bars are not chocolate. They're vegetable oil, cocoa powder, sugar, and emulsifiers, formed into a shell that snaps when you bite it. Hydrogenated vegetable oils at these amounts are not a neutral ingredient. The coating, plus the sugar in the ice cream, creates a fast and significant blood sugar response, and the coating is designed to melt at a specific temperature, which takes a precise fat composition, which takes processing. Better to avoid as an everyday choice. Moving on. Regular full-fat ice cream. The standard version. Cream, skim milk, sugar, eggs, flavoring. Here's the honest take. Regular ice cream is not a health food, but it's also not a chemical product. The ingredient list is short. The fat is dairy fat. The sugar is real sugar. Your body knows what to do with these things. The problem is quantity and frequency. A small portion occasionally, not a tub every night. The full-fat version is better than the low-fat version because the fat slows sugar absorption, and because what they replace the fat with is worse than the fat itself. Acceptable. Almost there. Homemade ice cream. This is the one that beats everything on the shelf. Cream, milk, eggs, sugar, real flavoring. That's it. No stabilizers, no emulsifiers, no ingredient you can't pronounce. The sugar content is similar to store-bought, but the processing is a different thing entirely. You're not eating an engineered product. You're eating cream that was frozen. The fat here is dairy fat, which the body recognizes and handles differently from hydrogenated vegetable oils. The downside? It melts fast, which is actually the proof it's real, and it takes time to make. But if you're going to eat ice cream, this is the version worth eating. Very beneficial, relative to everything else in the freezer aisle. Last, premium ice cream. The expensive one, the one in the small container. Here's why it closes this list where it does. Premium ice cream has the shortest ingredient list of any ice cream on the shelf. Cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolks, vanilla. That's 5 ingredients. The cheap version has 20. More fat means slower sugar absorption. More fat means more satisfaction per spoonful, which means you eat less. The portion is small, but it's supposed to be small because it's dense, real, and filling. The paradox: the most expensive ice cream is the most honest one. It doesn't pretend to be diet food. It doesn't hide ingredients behind names you can't pronounce. It's cream, frozen, occasionally fine, and miles ahead of everything marketed as the healthy choice. That's the full ranking. Top picks: dark chocolate sorbet, homemade ice cream, plain gelato. And that no sugar added version in the diet aisle? Read the ingredient list, then count them. Next, I ranked the drinks you reach for in the heat. The one you trust to cool you down is quietly dehydrating you. It landed near the bottom. Link is on screen. Which ice cream is in your freezer right now? Tell me below.